we should be live. So hopefully that audio is working, and we're just going to get started. I am refactoring some logic. But ChatGPT kind of broke things, so we're going to have to go in and fix it. That's really weird. Why did it add that? Did I add that? I must have added that. I'm trying to refactor the state logic, and I tried getting ChatGPT to help me with it, but I feel like it broke some core logic that I need. So I'm not sure if this even makes sense. It's like maybe something I want to do, and to change the animation style. Hey, Andrew. So this is working exactly like I want it. And the big question was, can I get this to work a little bit differently? No, I don't want to do it that way. Nope. No, don't do that. Okay. I think I have to be more explicit. Let's use a try and simplify the if else conditional logic like this. I'm exploring using some AI to help, but it's good to bounce ideas off of. It's not very good at complex animations like this. Yeah, so I use this. This is my coffee app, and I need to integrate it. I'm trying out Xcode 16.3 for the first time. Um, Rosetta. Oh, do I have an old version of Xcode? Or is it just giving me that option? Never seen that before. I would like to see less simulators. There's so many. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to replace this animation over here with some new state logic. And it's pretty much working. It's just not, something's wrong. Actually, let's compare how ChatGPT does versus Cursor on this. Okay, so I asked it to refactor some of this, and we'll see if it actually works. I don't know if it's actually applying the change. I'm not seeing any changes here. I'm a little confused on the state status. There's the status up top. One of the issues that I had is my previous thing was tied to just 3 states, and I really want this control, if I'm gonna make it in SwiftUI, working for a variable number of states. And then the animation collapsing and doing all the stuff that it kind of does over here needs to translate into the actual app. Mm. Okay, I like that it's got some kind of reset. Okay, so apply the changes. And none of this is really needed because it's kind of working how I want it, and I've been able to reason about it. So this was just like an idea. Maybe I could simplify it, um, have AI help. Is it? I've got sound effects too, so that's what we're hearing. Okay, so it's made the changes, and then do I have to hit apply, or is it already in there? With the cursor, it's already in there. I think I have to hit apply. Okay, and if I close this, would it break? Does not compile. Okay. First is a get only property. So AI is just not always going to write proper code. And let's see if that works. So that compiles. Does that break my animation? It doesn't work the same. It must be a timing issue. I don't want this up down. I don't know if I can express it in the way that I want to express it. I think that's the problem. So ChatGPT has the ability to integrate with Xcode. So I'm just using the keyboard shortcut Option spacebar, and that brings up ChatGPT. So if you've installed the latest version of ChatGPT, you can get access to the content. And then it can look at a single file. And since I'm paying for ChatGPT Pro, I have access to all of the different models. But it's lost the intent. So the intent of the animation has changed. Doesn't work the same. I don't know if that's going to keep working if I close that to look back at the code. Um, it's telling me that the reason it's not working is because I commented out its delay. But that's not the fundamental problem here. We're just going to reset it. Let's take a look at why this works the way it does. Okay, so I've got the ability to have multiple states, which is one of the things that I needed for this. So I could switch this to 3 stages, or I could switch it to 4 stages. I have it is completed and is showing check mark. Oh, that could be why. Um, and I thought I didn't. See, the problem is ChatGPT was sending me down the route of, oh, I could combine these two variables into um, one state. But the problem with that is it messes up my animation. So my animation is designed to show a check mark and then switch to the next stage. Show check mark, then switch to the next stage. I need two different discrete values to do that animation properly. So I'm looking at the is completed, and then I am also doing is showing check mark. I think I refactored this one so it's proper. And I'm looking at that here, there. Does it get? Okay, so that's used for state information for going to either collapsed or completed. Without that, it's not going to work the same. I don't think this can be simplified further without losing the control that I have. Because then the UI is dependent on both of these, but I'm setting these sort of independently, and it's really the control of is completed for the particular state. It's kind of important. And the current index is also important. So right now I have it so that it can cycle through the animation so that I can see if it's working or not. That helps me know that if I've broken kind of the state logic. I want to have variable number of stages. And so the actual animation is over on the side. Got to restart it because it's broken right now. But I do this animation here, which is similar to what I'm mocking up right now. But I've got the check mark drops down, which is really cool. And then it swipes over. The last stage was collapsing too soon, and it doesn't support a variable number of stages. So that's what I'm trying to fix right now. I guess I could just do that. Does that fix it? And so to get this image to pop, I change the opacity, the scale, and the frame. I don't know what would happen if I take away. So without the scale effect, it doesn't do the zoom, and then without the frame, everything is large. So I combine those those different things. I don't know if the opacity, I think that would help, but okay. So without the opacity, you get this weird zoom out. And maybe that makes sense for why I was having the other glitch. So opacity is actually really useful here because it takes your eye away from the tiny zoom out. You see it gets super small. So that's without opacity. Looks cool, but it's too distracting. So I turn on opacity and it's going to get small but then disappear. Get small and then disappear. So your eye is less drawn to it and more drawn to the next stage. And then I change the colors right here. So if I don't do that, everything is white. And this was causing an implicit animation that I had to actually fix down here. If I don't do this step, we get a little bounce. And I think that's because of the fade out. So if we turn off the opacity and zoom in, does it grow? It could be that grow that causes that. It's an unwanted animation. So you can control that. When it's the current index, I basically set the animation to nil so that it doesn't do a little bounce. So implicit animations are a little bit tricky. And then the core logic is in the advance to next stage where I decide what to do. Everything's going to be using the same animation, which currently is spring. I need to determine if I'm showing the check mark and there's still more stages, then we are going to mark the check mark stage as complete. And that helps us collapse the state and go to the next one. And then we set the current stage to the next one. And if we're on the very final state, then I collapse everything. And I think that's respected. Actually, that's just for having an extra step in here before the reset. So I have is complete in completion state. If we're in that state, that's when I want to reset everything. And that's just for testing the animation. That's not something that I'm going to have in there for the users to see. So that animation is actually not, I don't think that does anything. So in the fourth stage, we'd see if that actually does anything, but I didn't see anything tied to it since I've refactored stuff. Isn't that kind of weird? Am I using this? So to get this background to sort of stay consistent, I'm using this namespace. And if I turn that off, what happens? Kind of grows. So it does kind of what was done in the other one. So that's the one of the differences on this animation. It kind of slides down this way with a matched geometry effect. But this breaks when I have more stages. So that's what I'm trying to get to the root of now. I figured out what my animation glitch was, but now I have a new one right there. I don't remember hard coding anything to 3 stages, but something is not right. I don't know if it's I don't think it would be the step number, but let's just change that and see if that fixes anything. Okay. For some reason 2 doesn't want to get finished, and then reset is not working. What did I change here? Oh. Hardest thing is when you write code a long time ago and you come back to refactor it, you don't remember how it works. It's kind of the boat I'm in. It doesn't make any sense to me. Was there some state logic that was preserved between the last run? I somehow had pour 1 was not finished at one time, which was really perplexing when I added a stage. So if I change, when I add a stage, I'm gonna remove all this old code. Let's run this on a real simulator. And I'm gonna step through and see where it's getting stuck. Is it not? Oh, will I not be able to use my breakpoints? So we change and we hit our breakpoint. I think Xcode 16.3 is supposed to start up the debugger faster, potentially. There could have been an issue with other projects. I think this was my attempt to like get an extra pause, and I think that's not entirely right. So I'm gonna step. Probably don't want the breakpoint on the with animation. Step. More step. I'm going to step once more. So the next time we are setting these two variables. They're kind of similar and did complete. Oh, that's where that comes in? I was wondering why that was happening. So setting did complete is going to change the alignment from center alignment, which is what I need when I am displaying with the bubbles. And then otherwise it will be trailing. So I pass center aligned text. I don't know how this works. Height is 0. Is that how this works? So I use this extra rectangle to basically keep the text aligned to the image highlight. And then once that goes away, I want to collapse and go into just basically as tight as possible. That's kind of how I achieve it. So I hide it by setting the height to 0. Okay, I forget where we were in the debugging. So I don't know what this is completion state is for, because I've commented out. I don't know if I need it anymore. So if I continue, and then they are no longer center aligned and they're hugging. And so if we do it without breakpoints, I have to stop, start. So at this point, I want it to collapse, but for some reason I have to click again. So that's the problem. After it collapses, I think I'm setting the wrong thing. I think that's the problem. But I needed another beat for the... And so then we're just toggling between this state and this state and this state and this state. Oh, I forgot I could do that. Keep looking over here, but I should be able to pop out. I can just take this out for right now because I don't know if it's helping me or just confusing me. Oh, okay, so that's why the numbers changed. I'm doing animations, but if I click too quickly in my run through, that's where we get into problems. Is showing check mark. What if I set that to false? What does that do? Is that one even hooked up? I really need, I think, did complete is true here. And maybe that's where I need the is completion state. Or is showing check mark. Is true, and we completed. Oh, come on. Oh, maybe I don't do that step. Um, if it's gonna bug out like that, I want the slide, but I don't want the weirdness. I might need to. I have to separate it, don't I? Maybe I don't even worry about it. I swear I didn't do that before. Um, and maybe it's because I had it separated. Or did I not answer that correctly? Okay. Maybe it's because I switched over to using springs. I might not be able to use springs. I mean, I like this collapse animation. Just getting it to work with the other one is challenging. So I'm not sure if spring was the problem then, unless there's another spot where I'm doing animation. Okay, those are the two spots here, but there's other controls in here, so we just got to make sure. So there I'm using spring. There's a spring. I call that my bounce animation. Spring, spring, spring. title. Which animation? It's the collapse. Okay. Why? Try this one. Does the step number matter? Oh, it does matter. Oh. Okay. I didn't realize I had connected it like that. I wonder if that makes a difference. I've got this animation, so I can't click the button or it messes it up. Be right back. Mm. Okay. Do I have audio? Yes, I do have audio. Did I hit the wrong button? Okay. Hi, Mohit. I'm good. I should have started on this sooner. Um, Stuck on my animation logic. Oh, it's still doing a jiggle. Doesn't do the jiggle there. Okay, so it's the combo. No jiggle. But if I do it too quick, we jiggle. Oh man, like I feel like I'm so close, and then I get these random jiggles. So I might just disable that. But then I won't get to the end state. So that is this horizontally aligned text. Just always pass false. Oh, sorry, always pass true. But if I have really long titles, does that matter? Or is it short titles that's the problem? So I'm fighting animations right now. think there's a lot of opportunities for iOS engineers. The problem is there's a lot of iOS engineers. So there's a lot more competition. So it depends on what you're trying to do. I don't do contract work right now, so I don't really have any tips on getting contract leads. I think the biggest thing is to market yourself, like do a live stream, show that you're coding, or show off what you've done. I think live coding is the hardest thing because especially for a complex thing. If it was like a standard and a UI mockup, I could do that a lot easier. But when I'm trying to think about state logic and trying to explain where I am, like that's where live's a little bit weird. This is something I should have started at like 7 a.m. so I had like fresh eyes on it. Um, but the other problem I'm running into is SwiftUI animations. The implicit animations cause me a lot of issues when I'm doing some of this stuff. Sometimes they jiggle, sometimes they don't jiggle. And I want to do this collapse animation. Maybe it needs to be a two-part, and that might solve my jiggle. Um, where do I set that? So I always set that Xcode did complete. So I think I need just another. That might solve my problem. Did complete. I kind of need a second state. Maybe I can leverage the other one that I commented out. I wonder, maybe I just need the dispatch queue. Well, I've got 3 different animations here. Because I haven't been paying attention to that. And it could be that, like, I might get more predictable animations if I avoid spring. I need some kind of delay, otherwise it glitches. So I'm playing around with just trying to get this animation to work. If I don't add this delay, I get a glitch. I wonder if that's the one. Okay, so I think my biggest problem is I incorporated spring animations, thinking it would help, and it seems to have caused more problems. And this is never going to animate. This is just for testing. I think that's better. Can I do that? Nope. Still animates. Interesting. Howdy. How's Brazil? I'm in Rochester, New York, so upstate near Niagara Falls. About five hours from New York City. I've been hosting a hackathon for my students, and so I was working on my own project for the hackathon. Hmm. But I'm just trying to get this animation logic, and I clicked too fast. Hey, Bob. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for registering for the iPhone Apps 101 waitlist. We're wrapping up this version or session um, this week, and then I'm going to decide how I want to teach it moving forward, or if I just want to do office hours and have like a group coaching. So we'll see. I might do like a open-ended hackathon. Um, Not sure on that yet. Want to see how this one shakes out. I need some more coffee. So what I have to do, my next step for this animation is just I have to integrate this new logic, and my biggest challenge has been animations glitching. That's the reason I never integrated this before. Is I think this spring really messes things up. Coffee time. All right, we got like 5 minutes left. Just put this up here. Because then it's demo day for my hackathon. So I'll be switching over to that. But thanks for watching. I'm exploring doing live streaming. I don't know. This is way harder than if I pre-record content because I spend a lot of time on code, and I don't know if it's interesting to watch me if I'm stuck on something. Like I hit my head against problems, and then it just takes a while to overcome them. And I guess that's anything with development is where you run into situations where things don't work like you expect, or like complex animations with multi-part are really complicated. Um, so I might do a video breaking this down once I figure it all out. But I basically need to integrate this with my other logic. This I use ChatGPT to help me get to the bottom of some animation glitching, and it turns out like that spring animation is problematic because it can cause views to like jiggle, which I don't want. And sometimes you need control. I don't know if that issue goes away now that I took the spring out. Let's see if it behaves any better. No, it's still there. So you still need to control. There's a bounce animation. This was like the bane of my existence last time I worked on this, um, last weekend. And sometimes you have to control animations because I'm doing some complicated things here, which doesn't quite exactly match what I'm doing in the other UI. But it does cause some problems. So as long as there's another state, I increment states, and then I get into a completion and is collapsed. Is collapsed is the first one. I don't know why I don't have this first. And then completion is where I reset everything. I don't know why I do that. Oh, that's to show that the first one is selected. That's why I do that. Okay. Is collapsed. Something didn't work. Did order matter? I don't think it should. Oh, but it could. Order could very well matter here. Okay. It's an easy way to break things. Because I have two booleans, I have to deal with them in special ways. All right, so I think that's it right now. Thanks for watching. If you are interested in anything else, let me know.